Claire O'Neill speaking at that cyber strategy launch. Andrew, while we're reporting on this breaking news out of the Middle East, a ceasefire for all intents and purposes, more than 50 hostages to be released, a really strong show of support for the Jewish community locally.
Yes, the opening of the Holocaust Museum in Melbourne. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton were both there with some strong words. Peter Dutton's been critical of the government for not doing enough for the Jewish community, but the Prime Minister had some strong words as well as the opposition leader in support of the Jewish community in Melbourne today.
Wherever racism has raised its head, if you look for the leaders of those campaigning and speaking out against it, it is the Jewish community that consistently do that. I turn to the words of Holocaust survivor Peter Gaspar, who lost 40 members of his extended family. The Holocaust didn't start with gas chambers and murders and executions. It started with stereotyping, prejudice, discrimination, hate speech. Those are words to heed each and every single day. What the Holocaust Museum so powerfully reminds us is that when we maintain meaningful contact with the past, we give ourselves our best chance of ensuring it doesn't become our future.
We stand here today having been filled through our television screens of the hate-fuelled mobs marching through major democratic cities calling for the slaughter of Jews. Whenever and wherever the forces of anti-Semitism are on the march, there is a need for moral courage and moral clarity. Right now, there is a need for unequivocal and unqualified condemnations of the anti-Semitism we are witnessing. There must be no tolerance for that which is not tolerated. Moral courage and moral clarity can take many forms. For everyday Australians, a simple act of moral courage which leads to moral clarity is to visit this museum.
The opposition leader there in Melbourne earlier. Andrew, something that you mentioned and in fact you discussed with Claire O'Neill on Sunday Agenda, there's been a bit of a clarification on what she meant about the advice she had received. This is in relation to those detainees released after the High Court ruling. That's right.
So I said to the Home Affairs Minister on Sunday Agenda, look, you're obviously pretty flat-footed here. Why weren't you ready for this High Court decision? She said the advice from her department was that they were likely to win. Now, in the last couple of days, there's been a document tabled in the High Court or released which says on May 26, one officer in the department at least suggested releasing the detainee who brought the case in order to mitigate the risk of losing the case. So that seems a bit contradictory from what Claire O'Neill was saying. I guess she gets advice from several people in the department. This is Claire O'Neill on Sunday Agenda.
We were advised that it was likely that the Commonwealth would win the case, that is, allow us to do what we wanted to do, which is keep these people in detention.
How recently did you receive that advice?
Well, we received that advice from the Department of Home Affairs, who tell us what chances we have of success and failure in each legal case. But I do need you to understand that...
When did you receive that advice?
I do need you to understand that our department is one of the most litigated against departments of the Commonwealth.
All right, so she was questioned about this, the Minister, on the ABC this morning?
I was not referring to legal advice when I made comments about the Commonwealth's prospects in that case. I do not, will not ever talk about the legal advice that is provided to the Commonwealth. What I was referring to was operational and policy conversations that were happening with my department that we felt might change, potentially change the outcome of the case. Specifically, could we remove the complainant from the country and end the High Court decision?
Claire O'Neill on the ABC. Andrew, thank you.